So, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to say thank you for joining today's webinar on e-invoicing decoded by CA Vikas Golcha sir. And we will be this webinar will be covering basics of e-invoicing, benefits of automation due to e-invoicing, and FAQs on e-invoicing and how to configure, integrate with your ERPs, Tally, SAP, customized ERPs for e-invoicing. We have Mr. CA Vikas Golcha sir. He will be briefing us on many important aspects of e-invoicing and answer your related queries. Something about Vikas sir. He empaneled National Faculty GST ICA and expert trainer on National Academy of Customs Indirect Taxes and Narcotics to train central GST officials.
So, without myself, CA Vikas Gulcha, welcome all of you, all the participants on behalf of GST Hero, the host for the event webinar. I'm a national faculty of GST ICI and expert faculty of National Academy of Central Excise and Customs. So, GST invoicing can be tell as a game changer on perspective of curbing the fake invoice issue that government is facing, which is showing on the revenue collections of the government. Further, it is also one major step towards the ease of doing business because reconciliation is a major hurdle in GST, and government is facing every SST. Even government is finding it difficult to reconcile the books of account of the buyer and the seller, and reconciliation is a major issue, we are looking right now. We are facing right now. To avoid all these things, the government has come out with the e-invoicing solutions. Firstly, gradually it is implemented from 1st October 2020 for the SSCs having aggregate turnover exceeding 500 crore rupees. Later on, now from 1st January 2021, it will be applicable for all the SSC having aggregate turnover exceeding 100 crore rupees. So, we will be having a brief discussion of all the aspects of e-invoicing. Later on, we will be taking all your questions. Briefly go through the presentation plan we have. Firstly, we will take out all the basic questions related to e-invoicing in everyone's mind. Later on, the need for e-invoicing, e-invoicing mechanism and structure. Later, we will discuss how documents govern the e-invoicing, cancellation mechanism of e-invoicing, consequences of non-compliance, and recent e-invoicing notifications which will be relevant for all the participants, sample e-invoice with QR code, and last the GST e-invoice process flow. So we will be discussing one by one all the topics. I request all the participants if they have any question in between the presentation also, you can post on chat box. At the end of the event, in the later part of the event, we will be addressing all the questions of all the participants. So let's discuss GST e-invoicing. First, basically, we have to four major questions which will be come under our mind. Why e-invoicing? What e-invoicing and to whom it is applicable? First, why e-invoicing? Basically, the basic objective behind e-invoicing is to improve the business-to-business communication by reducing transcription errors and cost involved. Second, to simplify exchange of documents between supplier and buyer, just like sending and receiving emails. And GST reporting will be a lot more easy and indeed a byproduct. After implementation of e-invoicing, GST return filing is automated or a byproduct, we can say. Further, e-way will also be a byproduct. Starting government has implemented e-way bill mechanism also to curb the fake invoices issue and the evasion of taxes, but that also have limited effect on the fake invoice issue. Now government have scope further for e-invoicing. What basically e-invoicing is, we can say e-invoicing means a reporting detailed or specified GST document to a government notified portal and obtaining a reference number. It doesn't mean generation of invoice by a government portal. So we can say that e-invoicing is not a online or PDF form of any invoice, but it is a normal invoice you are issue in day-to-day practice of your business. But apart from that normal invoice, it also contains one IRN number. That's why it is called as an e-invoice. So it does not mean that government is generating invoice from on behalf of you, but it was means you are sharing your invoice document within a portal where you get a IRN number, invoice reference number, which will be put it on your invoice in form of QR code. So you are sharing the information at the earliest. Now after this e-invoicing mechanism, all your GST return e-way bill mechanism will be auto populated from this data entry you have done in e-invoicing portal. Now, biggest question is to whom it is applicable. There's lots of confusion with respect to it, whom it is applicable. First, it is applicable to every taxpayer whose aggregate turnover. We have the aggregate turnover definition also we will be covering in the next slide. It should be based on PAN number. Means in a PAN number, if you have a multiple registration number, your aggregate turnover should be seen on the basis of PAN number, irrespective of number of GST you have taken. So you have a multiple GSTIN and aggregate of all under the same PAN, and turnover exceed 100 crore rupees, you will be required to comply with the e-invoicing mechanism. How when it is mandatory? It is mandatory with effect from 1st January 2021. Second, but few sectors has been exempted from this provision, like SEZ units, insurance, banking, NBFC, GTA, passenger transportation services, and multiplexes, cinema education. Apart from that, all who is covering under the limit prescribed, basic limit prescribed for this is covered under GST invoicing compliance mechanism. Now moving forward, we have to go through the definition that aggregate turnover, which is defined in CGST Act under section 2 subsection 6, because which is very relevant to whether identify whether e-invoicing is applicable to us or not. So what is the definition of aggregate turnover? That is, aggregate turnover means the value of inward supply and which taxes aggregate value of all taxable supplies done by the SSE less the value of inward supply on which tax is payable by a person on reverse charge basis. Second, exempt supplies. For example, aggregate value of all taxable supplies we have done with. Now the value of inward supply on which tax is payable by a person on reverse charge. This is a reverse charge which liability we have to reduce this turnover. Apart from that, we have to add the exempt supplies also. Then exports, all the export also will be part of aggregate value, aggregate turnover. Interstate supply also part of aggregate turnover, and this aggregate turnover can be seen of a permanent account number, that is PAN number, of a person having the same PAN to be computed on all India basis, but it excludes the taxes portion, that is central tax, state tax, and union territory tax. So any registered person under a single PAN having an aggregate turnover during the financial year or any previous financial year after financial year 17-18 is required to get have to comply with the GST e-invoicing provisions with effect from 1st January 2021. Now moving forward, what is the law requirement with respect to e-invoicing? So Rule 48 has been 48 has inserted one clause, that is 48 subsection 4, which discuss what is the law requirement for e-invoicing. It says the invoice shall be prepared by such class of person, a registered person, as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council, by including such particulars as contained in form GST INV 01 after obtaining a invoice reference number, by uploading information contained therein on a common portal, a common GST electronic portal, in such manner and subject to such condition and restriction as may be specified in the notification. So it is a requirement which has been put in the law through amendment in rule, insertion in the rule. It is Rule 48 sub clause 4 talk about the e-invoicing compliance. So it is applicable to every registered person as notified by the government. Now government has notified that every SSE having an aggregate turnover exceeding 100 crore is required to comply with this provision, subject to certain exceptions which are not allowed, not covered under e-invoicing mechanism. Now, apart from that, it is a normal invoice. Only difference is that you have to generate an invoice reference number. So your normal invoice should contain a particular, that is QR code of invoice reference number, which is covering all the details required in IRN portal. So after uploading information, you will be getting IRN in form of QR code, which is to be placed on your normal invoice. Now, Rule 48 further say, Rule 48 Clause 5 say, every invoice issued by a person to whom sub-rule 4 apply. I request all the participants to please mute their mic so it will be audible to all the participants. So, every invoice issued by a person to whom sub-rule 4 apply in any manner other than manner specified in said sub-rule shall not be treated as an invoice. Means what it means? Basically, it says if you are liable to govern the e-invoice mechanism and you have not opted for e-invoicing from 1st January 2021, then all the invoices issued by you will not be treated as a valid invoice, and it has lot of implications of it, right? What implication can we can see the consequences. We will be discussing what are the consequences to follow or non-complying. So we can say in nutshell, if you not comply with the provision prescribed, your invoice will not be treated as a valid invoice. So it is an invalid invoice, and all the consequences of invalid invoice will be followed. Rule 48 subsection 6 also say the provision of sub-rule 1 and 2 shall not apply to invoice prepared in the manner specified in sub-rule 4. Now what is sub-rule 1 and 2? Sub-rule 1 and 2 shows the requirement to have a duplicate or a triplicate invoicing of normal invoice, but same is not applicable in the case of e-invoicing. You are not required to have a duplicate or triplicate copy of the invoicing. We generally require a triplicate copy for supply of goods, duplicate copy for supply of services. But for e-invoicing, this provision will be not be applicable. You can have a single invoicing, that is e-invoicing, which have a QR code having a IRN contents, invoice reference number contents, which is uploaded by you in the IRP portal. Now, why we need an e-invoicing mechanism in India? We need an e-invoicing mechanism for digitalization, standardization, and interoperability and paperless mode in invoice communication. We want a flowless invoice communication so that entire process of GSTN, which is dependent on input tax credit, and the major element for input tax credit is the invoice. If invoice is automated, all the process of GSTN in input tax credit and the tax payment will automatically. Further, the e-way bill mechanism will also be automaticalized if the e-invoicing portal works all the SEC. Later on, government will be going through further limits. It can reduce to, in my view, government will be aiming to have a e-invoicing mechanism applicable to every SEC in the due time, having an aggregate turnover exceeding 10 crore. So government is focusing that we will later on we will not be required to have a e-way bill or other things. We can focus on e-way bill invoicing. It will be a win-win situation for a government as well as SSC who is fairly dealing their business, and it will be hard on the SSC who is having a fake invoices transactions. So e-invoicing will basically curb all these major practices. Now government is moving slab by slab. Right now, it is currently live for 500 crore plus turnover, aggregate turnover, and corporates under single pan. Later on, from 1st January, it will be applicable for 100 crore. Second, need for invoicing eliminates a data re-entry and reconciliation errors. Once our information is properly cited and quoted in an e-invoice portal and IRN is generated, data re-entry is not required in the GSTN portal, also in the e-way bill portal. Same will be automatic flow from that e-invoicing portal only. So there is a lack of reconciliation error will be facing. Improvement payment cycle. Generally, payment cycle when we flow invoicing on time, we issue invoicing on time. Payment cycles can also be improved, reducing processing cost involved, reduces a dispute among transacting parties because it is evident that the transaction has happened. Then no disputes can arise with respect to the applicability of transactions or effectiveness of the transaction, because it is an online portal having all the transactions. So dispute among the transacting parties can be reduced. Generation of invoice and reporting become a part of business process. There is no separate portion. Only you have to. It is a part of business process. You issue invoice, IRN will be generated, and automatically all the GST returns and e-way bill mechanism will follow without any hassle. Now moving out of what need of invoicing further, no further reporting to GST portal or e-way bill portal. Once you have entered the required data in invoice reference number. For invoice reference number, you will be going through automatic auto populated data in the GST portal for GSTR1, GSTR3B, and further GSTR 2A of the recipient. Second, e-way bill also e-way bill requirement can also be filled from here only. You do not need to have a separate data entry in e-way bill portal also. Further, GST reporting compliance will be part of a natural business system, improve overall business efficiency, facilitate business-friendly initiatives such as e-invoicing, financing. It is a major role. I want to focus. I want to request all of you have to focus on this point. Basically, we can see when e-invoicing is happened, e-invoicing can have a scope for e-invoicing financing also. It is an asset which business has, and it can be financed also. So when because it cannot be cancelled when one particular invoicing has been done, but it is an asset, it is a recoverable amount which a business will be getting. It can also be get financed from the funding agencies because it is a valid evidence of a asset that is debtor in the form of e-invoice. So once the e-invoice is validated, it is an asset in the books of accounts and it can be shortly funded by various financial institutions also. So it is a very near future that e-invoicing funding will be options available by various banking industries to follow to meet out the working capital requirements of the business. Further, it mitigates invoices fraud. Right now, there is lots of fraud going on of fake invoices. Now, government is also aiming through e-invoicing. There will be a substantial reduction in the fake invoices issues going on in the country. Further, recently government has GST Council had a GST Council meeting for curbing the fake invoices issue, which is going on. Further, we are already in discussion with the various GST officials also. They have seen a trend where they are finding that payment of taxes through input tax credit has been significantly increased from as and the period goes on from financial July 2017 onwards. So it shows that there's a lot of fake invoices issues going on in the industry. So they are tracking that after e-invoicing, this can majorly be controlled because there is a mechanism of non-cancellation of e-invoicing. Further, there is automatic processing and auto reconciliation is there. So it can be seen that it can be mitigate all the fake invoice issue also for government. And it has a global imperative. It boosts the confidence of global enterprises and all can have a good vision and ease of doing business in India. Now moving forward, taxpayer will continue to create the GST invoice on their own accounting billing IRP system. Now, there is no requirement that for the taxpayer there is no additional requirement with respect to e-invoicing. All the changes which has to be done is to be done by GSP or the software provider. The businessman is generally required to issue a regular invoice. Apart from that, the regular invoice only contain one QR code generated from invoice reference portal, that is in the form of IRN, invoice reference number. So there is no additional requirement on the part of business. It is only on the part of the software providers to integrate the solution to generate IRN on their regular invoices. Further, e-invoicing doesn't mean there's a ambiguity in the mind of that e-invoicing or e-PDF. It is a PDF. No, it is not a PDF. E-invoice doesn't mean the soft copy of invoice. It is a normal invoice only having IRN, which is called as e-invoicing. So, and normal invoicing having a QR code information in the form of IRN, invoice reference number, it is known as e-invoicing under GST. It is not a soft copy of invoice. It should not be misconceived. Now, e-invoicing as prepared will be reported to invoice registration portal. Multiple invoice registration portal will be established to ensure uninterrupted availability. To start with, NIC will be first registered and based on digitally signed and returned to the invoice, and that can be quoted on invoices based as a QR code. Now, we will now discuss how e-invoicing mechanism has been drafted and structured for the need of business, how it will be helpful, and what are the contents applicable to it. Now, IRP will also generate a QR code containing the unique IRN along with the key particulars, that is, first, GSTIN of the supplier, GSTIN of the recipient, invoice number as given by supplier. Now, what one basic myth on the mind of the taxpayer is that the invoice number will be generated by government. It is not that. Invoice number will be generated by the taxpayer only. But apart from that normal invoice number, there will be a IRN also, that is invoice reference number, which is different from the normal invoice number issued by the taxpayer. Apart from that, invoice value, taxable value, and a gross value, number of line items, that is number of products supplied in particular invoice, HSN code of main item, unique invoice reference number. QR code will be enabled for offline verification of invoicing using mobile app also. So the QR code mentioned on the invoice can be tracked and through a normal mobile application. Further, like this is an example, the invoice number, that is ABC1 2019-20, is a normal invoice number generated by an enterprise, is different from IRN, that is invoice reference number generated by invoice portal. So e-invoicing is nothing but a normal invoice issued by the taxpayer containing the IRN, invoice reference number, generated from invoice reference portal. So this invoice number is altogether different from invoice reference number. Now moving forward, government has come out with a schema, that is INV01 schema. The schema is nothing but a standard format of information to be contained in invoice, which is to be uploaded in IRB portal to generate IRN. So INV01 schema is based on e-invoice standard, based on universal business language, therefore which is certain customization to cater the Indian business practices and requirement like e-way. So certain amendment has been done apart from standardized practice globally going on, that is as per requirement of India. That e-way requirement is also there in India. So it has a certain contents to have that data also, so that SEC does not have to refill the data for e-way bill also. Types of supplies covered under it is B2B, that is business to business transactions, and exports. So there is B2C right now. B2C transaction will not be covered under e-invoice mechanism. IRN will be generated in sub 200 milliseconds duration as claimed by the NIC. Specified key fields to be validated on IRP. Facility of bulk upload of invoices will also be available. The uploaded invoice data will be digitally signed by IRP. No amendment of already reported invoice, cancellation and regeneration will be the only option. So once the IRN is generated, no amendment can be done. Only cancellation and regeneration is the only option left with the enterprise. So here are the list of the documents. But the word here is used is e-invoicing. But by invoicing also include other documents which has been prescribed, that there is another document also for which e-invoicing is required, that is business to business invoices. I request all the participants to please mute their mic so it will be audible for all the participants. Thank you. So what are the documents which will be covered under e-invoice mechanism? First is B2B invoice, business to government invoice. So various government various agencies will be doing, various government departments or PSUs or construction department is also required to issue e-invoicing. Further, export invoices is also covered. Reverse charge invoices will also be covered. Reverse charge is covered under section 9 subsection 3 as well as section 9 subsection 4, where we have to issue reverse charge invoices. Reverse charge invoices will also be covered under e-invoicing. Apart from that, credit note, debit note is also part of e-invoicing mechanism. So it may be noted that presently the business to consumer invoices are not allowed for e-invoice IRN generation. So apart from that, all documents are required to be generated e-invoicing, apart from business to consumer transactions or invoices. Now moving forward, cancellation of e-invoice. It is a major task. Cancellation of invoices is a major question among the industry. How, if an invoice has wrong content, how we can cancel the invoice? There are certain limitations with respect to this. Like IRN generated on portal can be cancelled within a 24 hours. So you not have an option to cancel the invoices after 24 hours. So any cancellation which can be done only within 24 hours from the time of issue of generating IRN. So IRN generated cannot be cancelled after 24 hours of its generation. Second, IRN cannot be cancelled if valid e-way bill exists for IRN. If further, because you're cancelling your IRN within 24 hours, but there is a valid e-way bill also going on for that. So in this case, you cannot cancel the valid cannot cancel the IRN if a valid e-way bill also exists there. You have to cancel simultaneously e-way bill also. Once the IRN is cancelled, then one more IRN cannot be generated on same invoice number. So once IRN generated cancelled for particular invoice number given by a taxpayer, another IRN cannot be generated for same invoice number of the SSC. Now, majorly what basically we are afraid of what are the consequences of non-compliances basically. What is the consequences to follow of non-compliance? First major consequence is if a registered person required to issue invoice does not comply with the same, then it will be deemed that no valid invoice has been issued, and all the consequences will follow. We are certainly having a few entities we are looking after that having a turnover exceeding 500 crore also, but they have not complied or integrated software of e-invoicing, but now they will be troubling later on. And further, the SSC who purchase the goods from those SPT will also be in trouble, because it is not a valid invoice, then there is no valid input tax paid also. So it will be a major challenge for SSC who had not complied, who is required to compliance and had not complied with this provision. It will be hardship on the buyers also from these entities, because they will also be not having a valid invoice, and there can be chances that no valid input tax credit also be shown. Further, no compliance penalty is there. There is 10,000 or a tax amount whichever is higher. So if an invoice is not issued as per requirement of law, then there is a penalty, that is 10,000 rupees, or a tax amount of the invoice whichever is higher. The buyer will not be eligible for input tax credit. It will be a major challenge for all the SSCs and all the buyers of that SSC who is required to comply with this provision. So buyer will also not be eligible for input tax credit of the invoices which is not properly issued. Now moving forward, there's lots of notifications issued by the CGST portal. CGST notifications are there with reference to e-invoicing. We have listed out the latest 4 notifications which will be relevant for today's discussion. First, we will be starting from 30 September notification, that is notification 70/2020. This major rumors going on the industry that if your aggregate turnover during the financial year does not exceed a 100 crore or 500 crore limit, you are not required to comply with the invoicing requirement. But this notification has been amended with notification number 70, which says a turnover limit has to be seen for any preceding financial year from 17-18. Now, if you have a turnover exceeding 100 crore or 500 crore as applicable to you, in any preceding financial year starting from financial year 17-18, you are required to comply with this e-invoicing provision, irrespective that on 1st January 2021 your aggregate turnover of the current financial year does not exceed the limit. So if your limit of 100 crore is already there in any preceding financial year after 17-18, you are required to comply with this provision irrespective of your current year financial turnover. Further, it also extended the scope, that is e-invoicing applicable for exports also by this notification. So apart from registered person, goods or services or both to a registered person, it is also applicable for exports. Later on, notification 72/2020 is issued, that is on 30 September only, which describes the quick reference code having embedded invoice reference numbers is required in e-invoice, which shares the requirement of having a QR code in e-invoicing. In notification for 73/2020, that is issued on 1st October 2020, has given certain relaxations to the entity having aggregate turnover of 500 crore and required to comply with e-invoicing provision from 1st October. That relaxation is that for the first month, that is October, IRN can be obtained within 30 days for the date of such invoice. It is relaxation given to SSC having aggregate turnover of 500 crore and required to comply with the e-invoice provision from first day of October. But it is not applicable right now for 100 crore SSC and after October. Now the latest notification, that is notification 88 of 2020 central tax issued on 10th November 2020, which says GST invoicing mandatory for registered person whose PAN based aggregate turnover of any preceding financial year from financial year 17-18 exceeds 100 crore. So now notification 88 of 2020 has mandatory compulsory held that every SSC having an aggregate turnover of any preceding financial year after 17-18 aggregate turnover on PAN number basis exceed 100 crore is compulsory required to issue a e-invoice, that is normal invoice containing an invoice reference number code in the form of QR code. That is a requirement which is effected by notification number 88 of 2020, which will be effective from 1st January 2021. Now it is a sample e-invoice with QR code. This is how it looks. The normal invoice number information is there. Apart from that, there is one QR code which having a reference for IRN. It is a QR code having information. If it is tracked through a mobile, it contains all the information of IRN from which IRN has been generated. So all the information submitted through IRP portal for the for getting IRN code, IRN invoice reference number, it is embedded on this QR code. Now let's discuss the GST e-invoicing process flow. How GST e-invoicing mechanism works. That is, first seller who upload e-invoice containing the GSTIN, invoice number, date, value, etc. to the JSON of e-invoice that contains the QR code. Seller gets GSTR1 gets updated with reliability entered in the invoice. So it is a scope that all the it will work on flow. Once the information is furnished, you will get a QR e-invoice along with QR code, and automatically your GSTR1 with bit-to-bit transaction is uploaded on the GST portal. Now, what is the IRP? The invoice, the registration portal. The IRP signs the invoice, send the invoice to GST system, add a QR to JSON and send back to JSON to buyer. So JSON invoice is sent to the buyer, and the invoice invoice content is shared with the GST system through API. And now a GST system update the outward and inward supply for buyer and seller now have a unique invoice with a unique number. Buyer can view the ITC related to the invoice in GSTR tool. So after giving information in one go, all the transaction will automatically work in their flow. And though there is no requirement for re-entering the data which is already created on the invoice reference register portal for getting IRN number. So this is the major discussion from my side. I now request the other participants. I request all the participants to please have a questions after the session. I will be forwarding my co-host for the event to have some technical how to generate invoice reference number and how software will play a major role, and how GSP will play a major role for integration of GST with existing software, that is Tally, ERP, SAP, or any customized software used by an enterprise. So I hand over to the co-host for proceed here from. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon all of you. This is Swapnil Raut. Thank you very much all of you for joining this session. So now we are going to see how user can generate the e-invoicing within time. Okay. So हमने यहाँ पे एक ऑप्शन प्रोवाइड किया है, that is GST e-invoice. So with the help of that you can generate the e-invoicing within time. तो कैसे है कि यहाँ पे दो लॉगिन यूजर नीड टू क्रिएट, that is the GST site login and IRP login. After the creation of this login, user can generate the e-invoice. Okay. 1 minute. अभी हम देखेंगे कि सेल्स इनवॉइस का जनरेशन के वक्त कैसे होगा आयरन जनरेट। यहाँ पे अकाउंटिंग वाउचर, दिस इज डिफॉल्ट टैली सिस्टम, तो मैं जनरेट करके दिखाता हूँ आपको सेल्स एंट्री। यहाँ पे मैंने एक लेजर सिलेक्ट किया, रिटर्न इनवॉइस। Okay. So after selecting the tax invoice, tax ledger, यहाँ पे you will get the information कि bill from कि यहाँ पे कि कहाँ से हम बिलिंग कर रहे हैं, dispatch from कहाँ से dispatch हो रहा है, bill to किसको हम बिलिंग कर रहे हैं and ship to. So this is the mandatory fields that we need to fill. ये जो details है ये automatically will get fetched on the basis of your selected ledger masters. After the saving the entry, user will get the option want to generate the invoice. Okay. After saving the entry, user will get the information IRN number within Tally, acknowledgement date and number. Okay. So within fraction of second you will get this information. तो यहाँ पे प्रिंट आउट जो है, यहाँ पे हम अगर प्रिंट देखेंगे तो सी यहाँ पे आपको QR कोड मिल जाएगा एंड acknowledgement डेट नंबर एंड IRN नंबर. So within Tally, this is tax invoice, a default tax invoice. So all the details you will get it here. Okay. So जैसे ही सर ने बोला कि we can generate the invoicing for sales, we can generate the invoicing for RCM entries, we can generate the invoicing for credit note, debit note. So B2B or export, we can generate the invoice. Okay. So let's see how we can generate the invoicing for credit note. So I am selecting the credit note, selecting the ledger, sales account. After saving this entry, user will again see the want to generate invoicing message. जैसे ही मैंने एंट्री सेव कर दिया, you will get the IRN number. Okay, so same we can take a printout also. Okay, again we can generate the invoicing for debit note also. So again we have I am going to select the debit note for sales, selecting the ledger, in the tax ledger. Okay, so again for debit note also we will get the message want to generate e-invoice. So this is one by one मैं जैसे ही एंट्री सेव करता हूँ तो you can generate the e-invoice. अगर किसी को वॉल्यूम इज मोर देन डेली में अगर 100 एंट्रीज या 200 एंट्रीज होते हैं तो बल्क यू कैन जनरेट द इनवॉइसिंग बल्क एंट्रीज also. So for bulk entries we have provided the option in GST invoice in IRP register. यहाँ पे मंथ हमें सिलेक्ट करना है या फिर डेट हमें सिलेक्ट करना है. After selecting date, this is the report of IRN generated. So यहाँ पे हमें ये रिपोर्ट में हमें ये पता चलता है कि हमने कितने इनवॉइस जनरेट किए हैं, कितने इनवॉइस में हमने एट द टाइम ऑफ जनरेशन हमें एरर शो हुए हैं फ्रॉम द पोर्टल, और कितने इनवॉइसेस हमने अभी तक इनवॉइस जनरेट नहीं किए. सो दिस स्टेटस इज शोइंग ऑल द डिटेल्स. यहाँ पे पेंडिंग कितने हैं, एरर्स कितने हैं, जनरेटेड कितने हुए हैं, और ये जो नंबर है दैट इज माय आयरन नंबर और आयरन डेट. यहाँ पे वाउचर का टाइप विच इज क्रेडिट नोट सेल्स है या फिर कोई अलग वाउचर टाइप हमने क्रिएट किया है बेस्ड ऑन आवर रिक्वायरमेंट. यहाँ पे वाउचर नंबर, वाउचर डेट, पार्टीज नेम, जीएसटी नंबर एंड यहाँ पे अमाउंट. तो अगर किसी एंट्री में एट द टाइम ऑफ जनरेटिंग आयरन अगर यूजर को कुछ एरर आता है तो यहाँ पे एरर में हमें वी विल गेट द इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग दैट एरर कि एरर एग्जैक्टली क्या है. अगर मैं मिस आउट करता हूँ HSN नंबर मेंशन करना या फिर पिन कोड नंबर एंटर करना, तो यहाँ पे जो भी एरर है एट द टाइम ऑफ जनरेटिंग IRN वी विल गेट इट हियर. ओके, तो अभी अगर यूजर को जनरेट करना है बल्क इनवॉइसेस, तो यहाँ पे जितने भी एंट्रीज है जो पेंडिंग है, यू कैन सिलेक्ट दैट एंट्री एंड वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड द ऑप्शन अपलोड सिलेक्टेड इनवॉइस. और यहाँ पे जैसे ही हम यस करेंगे, so system will show us the message. For example, I have selected the 4 entries. Let's see. Okay, so 4 invoice is generated successfully. That means मेरा जितना भी entries मैंने अपलोड किया है पोर्टल पे, उनके IRN में जनरेट हो गए. If we get the error, so system will show us कि for example 2 invoices generated and 2 invoices having error. तो यहाँ पे हमें वो काउंट शो होता है. So with the help of that we can trace कि how much we have got the IRN number and how much we have got the errors. Okay. So this report is explain everything. यहाँ पे we can generate the invoicing bulk invoice. We can cancel the generated invoice. अभी अगर if we user want to cancel the generated invoice, तो उस पे simply user can select this invoice. And we have provided the option cancel select invoice. So after mentioning the reason, IRN number is it cancelled from portal. So and status will show us the cancelled demand. Okay. We cannot generate if I have cancelled this entries one voucher number, that is 120-21. We cannot regenerate this invoice again for this voucher number. Okay. अभी यहाँ पे कैसा है कि कैंसिल एंट्रीज कर सकते हैं, अपलोड एंट्रीज हम बल्क में कर सकते हैं. अगर हमें फिल्टर करना है रिपोर्ट्स कि हमने कितने पेंडिंग्स हैं, तो यहाँ पे हम पेंडिंग्स रिपोर्ट में हम डायरेक्टली फिल्टर कर सकते हैं. जनरेटेड कितने हैं, सो वी कैन टेक द MIS रिपोर्ट की हाउ मच वी हैव जनरेटेड फॉर दिस मंथ और दिस डे, सो वी कैन टेक इट फ्रॉम हियर. और एरर्स कितने आए हैं, तो यहाँ पे यूजर कैन गेट इजीली ट्रैक द एंट्री कि एग्जैक्टली क्या एरर है. उसके बाद ऑल रिकॉर्ड्स जितने भी मंथ में एंट्रीज है वो वी कैन सी हियर. ओके, so we have provided the option document type filter also. Means अभी कैसे कि B2B को ही हमें जनरेट करना है. लेटर ऑन एक्सपोर्ट का अगर मुझे फिल्टर करना है, तो एक्सपोर्ट की एंट्रीज के में अलग अलग फिल्टर्स करके हम जनरेट कर सकते हैं IRN. ओके, और वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड वन एडिशनल ऑप्शन दैट इज वाउचर टाइप वाइज फिल्टर. अभी कैसे किसी क्लाइंट के एंड में बहुत सारे वाउचर टाइप्स सेल्स के होते हैं, लाइक सेल्स महाराष्ट्र, सेल्स गुजरात, सेल्स बंगाल, और स्टेट वाइज भी होते हैं या फिर उनकी नीड के हिसाब से भी होते हैं. तो वी कैन फिल्टर इट आउट. ओके, अभी ई इनवॉइसिंग मॉड्यूल में क्या है कि अगर यूजर फॉर एग्जांपल मैं एक गलती करता हूँ एट द टाइम ऑफ डूइंग सेल्स एंट्री, मैं एक मिस्टेक कर रहा हूँ. लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल. मैंने यहाँ पे जो स्टॉक आइटम मेंशन किया है जिसके मास्टर में मैंने या फिर कहीं पे भी मैंने HSN कोड डिफाइन नहीं किया है, तो व्हाट विल हैपन कि अगर मैंने एंट्री लेवल पे कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन सही से नहीं दिया है जो IRN पोर्टल के लिए मैंडेटरी है, सो वी विल सी द दैट एरर मैसेज हियर. अभी मैं जनरेट करने जैसे जाता हूँ, तो यहाँ पे you see the error message that is item HSN code is required to. So जैसे कि मैंडेटरी इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो हमें टैली में मेंशन करना ही है. फॉर एग्जांपल मेरा लेजर के मास्टर्स में अपडेट होने चाहिए लेजर्स के एड्रेस जो है, यहाँ पे लेजर्स के एड्रेस जो है वो एड्रेस मेंशन होने चाहिए. पिन कोड एंटर, पिन कोड जो है वो मैंडेटरी है. इसके बाद एंट्री लेवल पे पिन आइटम नेम इज मैंडेटरी, क्वांटिटी इज मैंडेटरी, रेट इज मैंडेटरी, अमाउंट इज मैंडेटरी. और यहाँ पे टैक्स लेजर इज मैंडेटरी. इफ इट इज आरसीएम देन इट्स ओके. तो आरसीएम है तो जो भी स्टॉक आइटम लेजर है उसके मास्टर में या फिर एंट्री लेवल पे हमें जो टैली ने डिफॉल्ट में फीचर दिया है कि यहाँ पे इज रिवर्स चार्ज एप्लीकेबल, तो यहाँ पे भी हमें वो इज एप्लीकेबल यस करना. सो दैट इज द मेन थिंग. अभी कैसा है कि यूजर अगर समझो कोई भी एंट्री डायरेक्टली टैली से कैंसिल करने जाता है, तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे Alt X करूँ, दिस इज ओपन एप्लीकेशन एज यू नो, कि यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली मैं अगर कैंसिल करने जाऊँ तो यूजर कैन कैंसिल द एंट्री. ओके, बट व्हाट इफ आई हैव जनरेटेड द IRN. ओके, IRN फॉर दिस एंट्री, I have generated the IRN. Okay, अभी ये अगर मैं कैंसिल करने जाऊँ तो what will happen? System will ask us to cancel the IRN first before cancelling the entry from tally. The same like अगर मैं delete करने जाऊँ तो same user will get this message. Without that, your user will not proceed further. अगर बाय मिस्टेकली किसी यूजर ने अभी कैसा है कि अपना ये टीसीपी फाइल बेस्ड ऑन टीसीपी फाइल यू कैन जनरेट द ई इनवॉइस. अगर किसी ने टीसीपी फाइल डिसेबल करके अगर किसी ने डिलीट कर दिया एंट्री, तो व्हाट विल हैपन? अभी समझो मैं यहाँ पे टीसीपी फाइल डिसेबल कर देता हूँ. और जो जनरेटेड IRN है, ओके, आई एम नॉट सिलेक्टिंग दिस IRN कैंसिल, आई एम डायरेक्टली डिलीटिंग दिस एंट्री. ओके, सो व्हाट विल हैपन कि डिलीट अगर कर दिया तो सिस्टम विल टेक केयर ऑफ दैट. डिलीटेड एंट्रीज रजिस्टर का जो लॉग है, यहाँ पे यू विल गेट द ऑल द डिटेल्स कि कौन से एंट्रीज डिलीट हुए हैं और जिसका IRN नंबर जनरेट हुआ है. तो दिस इज द सिक्योरिटी दैट यू कैन यू विल हैव. सो जितने भी एंट्रीज कैंसिल हुए हैं, जितने भी एंट्रीज डिलीट हुए हैं, यहाँ पे हमें सब शो होते हैं. वन मोर ऑप्शन दैट आई कैन शो यू कि अगर मेरा टैली से अगर जनरेट नहीं हो रहा है डायरेक्टली इनवॉइस, सो वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड द ऑप्शन दैट इज GStory टेम्पलेट. विद द हेल्प ऑफ दैट, आफ्टर द एक्सपोर्टिंग दिस ऑल द डिटेल्स in Excel, you can directly import into GStory site. So you can get the IRN number for that entries also. Okay, I'm done with the session. Vivek, you can continue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Swapnil, for showing everyone how to automate e-invoicing from Tally dashboard itself and generate e-invoices from one click with IRN and QR code. Now I request Mr. Sanket to showcase how to generate e-invoices and how e-invoices automation works in SAP. So I am handing over to Sanket.
To generate an e-invoice through SAP, you have to log into SAP with your client ID, username and password. After logging into SAP, the selection screen will appear. Here, you need to select the parameter along with the details like company code, plant code and billing details. Then click on the e-invoice button and the e-invoice data fetching will begin within SAP. Once the fetching is successfully done, the next screen will display all the various options like generate, cancel, print and view errors. To generate an e-invoice, you need to select a particular record and click on the generate button. In case of missing data, you will get an error message with the flawed fields highlighted. Just fill all the required data into the record and click on the generate button again. Here, the view errors option can help you to find out the errors and save your time and ensure errorless compliance with e-invoices. So after the required details are filled, click on the generate button. A message will be displayed on the screen indicating that the e-invoice has been generated successfully with a unique IRN, document number and QR code. You can then print the e-invoice in just one click. To get print of e-invoice, just click on the print button given on the dashboard. The e-invoice will be printed with all the document details and QR code. You can also cancel the e-invoice by clicking on the cancel button given in the dashboard. So, with GST Hero SAP integration, e-invoice generation is as simple as that. You did not have to visit the GST portal even once. Neither did you have to generate any JSON files. In the most cost-effective way and without having to make any severe changes to your SAP server. That is the promise of GST Hero. We do make your life simple by making GST simpler for you. Feel free to contact us in case of any queries regarding the integration. To generate an invoice through SAP, you have to log into SAP with your client ID, username and password. After logging into SAP, the selection screen will appear. Here, you need to select the parameter along with the details like company code, plant code and billing details. Then click on the invoice button and the e-invoice data fetching will begin within SAP. Once the fetching is successfully done, the next screen will display all the various options like generate, cancel, print and view errors. To generate an e-invoice, you need to select a particular report and click on the generate button. In case of missing data, you will get an error message with the flawed fields highlighted. Just fill all the required data into the report and click on the generate button again. Here, the view errors option can help you to find out the errors and save your time and ensure errorless compliance with e-invoices. So after the required details are filled, click on the generate button. A message will be displayed on the screen indicating that the e-invoice has been generated successfully with the unique IRS, document number and QR code. You can then print the e-invoice in just one click. To get print of e-invoice, just click on the print button given on the dashboard. The e-invoice will be printed with all the document details and QR code. You can also cancel the e-invoice by
Vivek,
clicking the cancel
video is
button.
not visible, Vivek.
Oh, okay,
Only presentation is going.
okay. One second.
What you can do is you can share the link also.
Yeah, I'm sharing the link as well in chat. I have shared the link in the chat. Hello.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm stopping my screen and sharing again. Is it visible now?
No.
Yes, it is visible like.
Yes.
Okay. So should I play from start?
Yes.
Now, let's have a look into the e-invoice generation process. To generate an e-invoice through SAP, you have to log into SAP with your client ID, username and password. After logging into SAP, the screen will appear. Here, you need to select the parameter along with the details like company code, plant code and billing details. Then click on the e-invoice button and the e-invoice data fetching will begin within SAP. Once the fetching is successfully done, the next screen will display all the various options like generate, cancel, print and view errors. To generate an e-invoice, you need to select a particular report and click on the generate button. In case of missing data, You will get an error message with the flawed fields highlighted. Just fill all the required data into the report and click on the Generate button again. Here, the View Errors option can help you to find out the errors and save your time and ensure errorless compliance with e-invoices. So after the required details are filled, click on the Generate button. A message will be displayed on the screen indicating that the e-invoice has been generated successfully with a unique IRN, document number and QR code. You can then print the e-invoice in just one click. To get print of e-invoice, just click on the print button given on the dashboard. The e-invoice will be printed with all the document details and QR code. You can also cancel the e-invoice by clicking on the cancel button given in the dashboard. So, with GST Hero SAP integration, e-invoice generation is as simple as that. You did not have to visit the GST portal even once. Neither did you have to generate any JSON files. In the most cost-effective way and without having to make any feature changes to your SAP server. That is the promise of GST Hero. Free to make your life simple by making GST simpler for you. Feel free to contact us in case of any queries regarding the integration.
Yeah, hello. I would like to request Vikas sir to continue with question and answer session.
I request all the participants if they have any question with respect to academic point of view or a legal point of view with respect to e-invoicing or a technical question, you can have a question. We will try to answer it earliest. You can raise your question in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and raise your question.
So there is one question from Chandrasekhar in chat. In this, will a buyer again need to fill in the e-bill details and GST invoice details when they are filling for their AP in their ERP system?
No. Once the IRN generated in the IRN has been generated, submitting the relevant information, you did not to have a separate data entry of e-bill and GST invoice, and it will be auto-populated from this that data.
Okay. There is one more comment from Vishal. Looking into frequent changes in law and process, please suggest us any update app site in which may search required updated law provision.
Okay. Vishalji, I can suggest we have also one solution along with GST Hero also. We have a GST Samadhan portal, which is an updated GST digital library which can serve your purpose. Further, one question from earlier question I have shown, then what happens to IRN generated but supply did not happen for XYZ reasons and IRN not cancelled in 24 hours. So in this case, I will suggest the best option is that to issue a credit note to nullify that transaction. Because if you have missed the time limit of 24 hours, it will not be cancelled and it will be posted to your GSTR1 for the as a B2B supply. Now the best option available left with you is to nullify that transaction by issuing a new credit note against that invoice.
Okay. In Tally, how to take this e-invoice features? Pallavi. Swapnil, you may answer this.
Hi Vivek. Pardon please.
There is a question from Pallavi in Tally how to take this e-invoice feature.
We need to add the TCP file. That's it. That's all.
Okay, GST Hero TCP file. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? You can put on chat.
Further, is there any query with respect to solution do you require with respect to e-invoicing for your existing Tally software, a customized ERP or a SAP? You can go through the GST Hero helpline number displayed on your screen. You can call or mail in the respective IDs so that you can get a solution for e-invoicing. Okay, GST Hero is working very well right now. I am also using their software for one of my clients working in the customized software and a Tally software. It is work very well. So I recommend all the participants that if there is any requirement with respect to e-invoicing solution for their existing software, you can opt for a GST hero and there's a number displayed on your screen. You can go through what the solution. Thank you. Further, I want to share one thing about e-invoicing, that e-invoicing will certainly will change the entire GST scenario, because right now we have to separately fill the data of e-way bill, GST return, GST-1, 3B, and reconciliation is a major challenge which we will be facing. Now, after e-invoicing, what is the solution that government and the business will get? Business will get all the returns compliance at one flow, within a single entity data to generate IRN. Thereafter, all the transaction will auto flow with the data only. And the second, the benefit government will be getting, that there is a lack of reconciliation issues is there, and there will be a lack of fake invoicing generation after e-invoicing mechanism has been implemented. So government is playing very good in this. If it will work out, entire GST process will be automated, and all the reconciliation and the reconciliation issues will reduce substantially. So it will be starting like right now. It is starting from 1st January 2020 or 2021. So I suggest all the participants to please integrate their software at the earliest to avoid the last minute rush, because the consequences of non-compliance is very big. Like one of the consequences, it is not a valid invoice, and all the consequences with respect to invalid invoice will follow. Apart from a penalty which is very high, that is 10,000, and the amount of tax involved, whichever is higher. So I recommend all the it will generally it takes around for the 10 to 15 days to integrate to a customized software, and for standard software it will take around 3 to 5 days. So I recommend all the taxpayers to integrate at the earliest to avoid the last minute rush and get it tested on time, so that you can generate your e-invoice from first day applicability, or from now on also. Further, if there
Okay.
is any question, you can share. Please share on the chat box or unmute yourself, and you can have a question. Further, one major confusion which I have heard in the industry is that if my current year financial year turnover is not exceeding 100 crore limit, whether the same is applicable, whether the turnover limit has to be seen for GSTN wise or PAN number wise. So this has been clarified by this, and further they have opted for aggregate turnover option, that is aggregate turnover on PAN number basis all over India basis. If their aggregate turnover exceeding 100 crore during any preceding financial year starting from 17-18, that e-invoicing provision will be applicable on. So I think they have already implemented the same 1st October 2020, the 500 crore mark. Now they are implementing 100. It will be very hard that unlikely that they will delay from here onwards. So it will be a higher percentage of chances that they will be live from 1st January 2021. So I recommend all the participants or other consultants whose clients are not yet got a solution, you can get your solutions also, and you get your client complied timely.
Yeah. Okay, as told by Vikas sir, it will be mandatory thing and very important thing to get implemented e-invoicing within your ERP. So GST Hero here is providing 4-in-1 solution: GST return filing, e-way bill solution, e-invoicing, and digital signing from everything from your ERP dashboard only. So we also integrate with custom ERPs. We have already integrated with one of the top ERPs from India, like Tally, SAP, Mark, Busy, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, and many other custom ERPs also we have already integrated. So if you have any custom integration requirement for your company, you can contact us on following email, and you can directly call us, as well as you can put inquiry on our website as well.
There is one question from Ketul Patel, that is, sir, please explain the process of issuing invoice for infrastructure builder when there is an advance. For the advance, I recommend it's a time of supply provision in GST law. The time of supply defined when the time of supply is the time when we have to discharge our liability. Now that time of supply says the date of issue of invoice or the receipt of advance, whichever is earlier, is the due date for issue for supply. So you have to discharge that liability according to time of supply provision of GST law. Now in the case of advance, you have to issue invoice because as per time of supply, earliest of the two, issue of invoice requirement and the advance receipt, whichever is earlier, is required to issue invoice. Further, I want to share with all of the participants that the government has relaxed requirement of payment of tax for advance in this with respect to goods. Right now, it is applicable on services, but by notification, government has exempted requirement of payment of tax for goods if the advance is received. So in that case, you will be not be required to issue e-invoice. But for if you are belong to a service sector and you receive any advance, and time of supply will be applicable on you, time of supply provision, and according to time of supply provision, date of issue of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, is the time of supply, and you have to issue a e-invoice or normal invoice as required by us. Thank you. Please, question one in Tally, how to take the e-invoice features. Basically, right now, what I get here information right now from the service providers that Tally has not yet come out with their own solution, but there is Tally various tools provided by various DSPs like GST Hero, which integrate their solution in the Tally in itself. So for generation of IRN, right? Tally Hero is also providing one solution like, sir? Hello?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Tally Hero is providing a solution to integrate with Tally, right now?
Right, sir. GST Hero.
Yes.
GST Hero provides custom built TCP file with which they can generate from Tally dashboard itself.
So how much times it will take to integrate the standard?
We can integrate within 1 day, sir. We can go live within 1 day.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello?
please, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. You are audible.
हेलो.
Yes, sir. दामोदर sir.
मैं हमारा पेट्रोल पंप है शिवाजी नगर में.
हाँ sir.
सर.
हाँ sir.
We are turnover non-GST turnover is 100 above 100 crore, but GST turnover only 25 lakhs.
Yes,
It is
sir.
applicable for us.
Yes, sir. Basis it is applicability on the basis of aggregate turnover, and that aggregate turnover include a taxable turnover as well as non-taxable turnover. I suppose that your taxable turnover is with respect to oil you are selling, because oil is subject to GST, because petrol and diesel is not subject to GST, right now? Right. So you
Our software is a visual trial software. It is not SAP software.
Okay, because you can have a solution for customized software also. You can contact.
Yes, sir. GST Hero can help you with the integration also. Yeah.
It is only you are in SAP software is or a Tally software?
No, sir. We have integrated with more than more custom ERPs like and major ERPs like Tally, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, and other major ERPs, as well as we have integrated with custom ERPs also.
Our SmartMail is small software. We are taking only 4 people in accounts.
Okay.
Our GST invoices is total B2B only 40 invoices.
Okay.
In a month.
Okay.
The petrol pump working is 24 hours. Our working after day after tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
तो कल का जो काम है ना आज करते हैं हम आफ्टर बिजनेस क्लोजिंग. तो इसके बारे में 31 का जो इनवॉइस हमारे पास जो हो जाएगा जीएसटी का, तो नेक्स्ट फर्स्ट डे को अपलोड हो जाएगा. हेलो.
हो जाएगा ना सर, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. यस यू कैन जनरेट द आईआरएन नंबर फास्ट. हेलो, इज इट ऑडिबल?
हाँ, यस ओके, यू आर ऑडिबल.
हाँ,
ये सुनाई दे रहा है?
हाँ सर, आप जनरेट कर सकते हो सर. हेलो सर.
हाँ, सुनाई दे रहा है सर.
यस आप जनरेट कर सकते हो सर.
31 का इनवॉइस जो होता है ना हमारे इधर जीएसटी का,
हाँ,
1 तारीख को अपलोड हो जाएगा क्या सर?
यस हो जाएगा सर, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
हेलो. Hello.
I request, sir, you can post your query in the number displayed or mail ID provided, so that we
Okay.
get a complete solution.
Okay.
Or our team will call you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Any more questions? So I guess there are no more questions. If anyone have any query or integration related requirement, you can contact us. So thank you very much, Vikas sir, Swapnil and Sanket for joining the
Thank you.
webinar, and thank you very much for to everyone who have attended the webinar.
Hello. Event.
Hello.
Thankful to all the participants for actively participating in this event. Further, if there is any query which is left and which comes to your mind later part of the after the seminar, you can post your queries with our mail ID displayed there, so that we will be try to answer it earliest to your queries. So I say I'll share. I'm thankful and have a good time with all of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes.